And we're going to try this again. We welcome you to the Di9 Designs NAOR series for the Yak Challenge 121 here at the Daytona International Speedway Road Course. I am Joshua Coppernell. I'm joined by Brett Bennett. I don't know if my introduction went through or not, so I'm just going to introduce us again. Brett, you already answered the question once, but I'll ask you again. How you doing, man?
Doing great. I got the truck series right now in the red flag, so fully here, ready for some racing. Cars just rolled out for qualifying, open qualifying here. Unlike we don't have single car runs like our normal tracks. It will be group qualifying. Fastest lap will count. Any kind of contact will invalidate laps. So we will see what will happen here as nobody has yet made it to the start-finish line to start a timed lap yet.
Yeah, the first one on track is going to be John W. Phillips. Now, qualifying is different. You mentioned it. It is group qualifying. Of course, normally qualifying is single car, one at a time. So tonight it's going to be everybody on track at the same time if you choose to be out there with the others. Jonathan Parker was fastest in practice with, I believe it was Nick Kapiak in P2, and I was trying to deal with other issues, so I really didn't catch much of the practice results. But Jonathan Parker, a winner in the road courses in this league before, he's looking to try to continue on that winning ways. Right now, it is John Phillips who is out there. Already crossed the line to start his lap, so let's see here. He's in the International Horseshoe.
Yeah, and Daytona's a really fun track to go through. Yeah, John Phillips on his lap, he was third fastest in practice. Another guy who might have something here for this race. This track's really all about nailing entry and exit and being clean through the infield section and getting a good launch here in turn 6 back onto the oval, and then getting a good run through the bus stop to get that launch back onto the oval. I believe we are running here the IMSA version of this track, so no front stretch chicane like we saw in NASCAR. In my opinion, the correct way to run this track, the chicane on the front stretch, one of the stupidest chicanes ever designed. So good that we are not running it here tonight. As you see, John,
I fully agree with you. Go ahead with what you're about to say.
As you see, John W. Phillips going through the bus stop here on his first lap. That looked really clean. Really easy to drop a wheel there, especially in qualifying where incident points can invalidate your lap. It's really easy to drop a wheel there and get a incident point that will invalidate your lap. We've seen a lot of drivers picking up off tracks already in this qualifying session. But as they come to the line, John W. Phillips going to be the first person to set a lap time here. And it is a 1:48.288. And we see this in the next gen car. You're only going to get faster as the run goes on, although you're going to see John W. Phillips block up and tow. I don't think you want to do that. The next gen car, unlike the trucks per se, like I know like when we were in the trucks here in the ITPN series last weekend, you really, like after a lap or two, you fell off 3 or 4 seconds a lap. You just had the rear tires went away as Jonathan Parker goes quickest, a 1:46.269, almost equaling what he ran in practice. Over a 1.8 seconds ahead of second place Ken Cheney. But I said the tires, as they get more heat in them, tend to get only faster. I think we will see a lot of drivers elect to not take tires on their pit stop here. Just something curious about the next gen car.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about this, Brett. I am curious to know who, if there are drivers, Josh Arnold goes a little wide there, but if there are drivers that don't really know that about the next gen, where tires, it's actually more beneficial to not take tires on your pit stop than it is to take tires. So I'm curious, who knows that, who doesn't know that, and if anybody's listening to this broadcast, if they're going to go, wait a minute.
I mean, it depends. I cannot speak for this particular track because Daytona Road Course does have a lot of lap time fall off. It's a lot of heavy braking zones and decently high speed, heavy load corners. So it does tend to put a little bit more strain on the tires. Like in the trucks, I did not have a lot of tire fall off or super high tire temps, yet I was dropping off significantly lap time wise. So drivers will have to pay attention to that. If you're dropping off lap time wise, it might be worth taking tires. But if you're not, I think probably fuel only might be the way to go. So it was just see. I could also honestly see some people risk it. Maybe take left or rights only. Would be interesting strategy here, but I remember right, the rights tend to wear a little bit more here, just based on how it tend to wear more just from because of turn 1 and turn 6 being two very high load corners. So as Nick Hapiak, by the way, has gone second fastest at 1:46.880. Jonathan Parker actually has pulled off. He might be just done qualifying. He might have set that 1:46.269 and said, you know what, that's good. Currently, Nick Hapiak second. He's on a lap, hoping maybe to get up and buy Nick Hapiak.
Yeah, the practice times between Hapiak and Parker were really close. And I'm thinking if anybody's going to be able to knock Jonathan Parker off his high horse, it could very well be Nick Hapiak tonight.
Or it could be Jonathan Parker. We've seen him before in races where he seems to have everything in the hand, just immediately wreck. So as he did at Nashville last season. So Hapiak might have been on a good lap there, but I believe that was Kenneth Chaney towing in the bus stop in front of him. That might have hurt his ability there to get a good run through the bus stop. And in fact, it appeared to, based on what I'm seeing in terms of pace for this lap. That'll be tight. He might pick up a little bit. In fact, that lap must have gotten invalidated at some point, so that lap doesn't count for Hapiak. He's going to try to run a fast lap here. Looks pretty good through one. Great job getting to the bottom of the track. Now into turns 2 and 3, the little left-right combo. Or actually, it's just turn 2. Now into the International Horseshoe. No country flags like in real life. They usually got, for the Rolex, you have the flags of each of the drivers, hence the name of the International Horseshoe. Up to the kink. It's not really doesn't feel like a real corner when you're in a prototype, but in these stock cars, you really got to be lifting, taking it easy through there, and now into the Western Horseshoe. Going to try to turn it down on that second apex. You kind of want to late apex that corner, straighten out your exit, get a good launch off. So far, this lap looking pretty clean. It's now into turn 6. Back on the oval here, you want an early apex, kind of let it track out, and then kind of let it just roll kind of smoothly to the wall, get back to throttle early, and get that car up to the wall and then pinch it back down to the bottom to run through the apron in NASCAR 1 and 2. Now it's pretty much wide open. You're going to want to make sure you brake early enough to make the bus stop, but you kind of want to give it up, especially in these stock cars. You want to give it up on entry to the bus stop. Slow in, fast out. Kind of the key to success in the bus stop. As you see Hapiak approaching pretty quickly up on another car. That might hurt him, especially if he catches him on exit. He might be fine there. Car in front of him going to stay high. That's going to let Hapiak maybe get even a little bit of a draft as he's going to go by Justin Quimby.
Now out of Oval 4 on the front stretch. We've been riding on board with Nick Hapiak, of course. And, I mean, everything Brett was explaining there, you were watching it unfold, and Hapiak actually
he spins it into the pit barrels. That is what I believe we saw that happen to David Durand last Saturday night. Ended his night. He took repairs and got back out, but 5 minutes remaining here in this session. Hunter Peach is now P3. We're in a 147.13. He was a car I felt like was really strong on long runs in the ITPN race, in the BSR Amsoil Truck Series race last Saturday. They called it the old name, still getting used to that. He really showed a lot of speed and really managed his tires well. That could be an advantage for him here tonight.
Hunter was actually my pick to win that race in the Amsoil Truck Series race, and I was impressed with his speed. He was doing really good, like you mentioned, really good on the long run as well. I think that could come into play here. Different car, of course, but I think having the experience with the truck last Saturday night, it could really help him there. Now, I think he might have just hit the grass in the kinks, so I don't know if this lap would count, but still, just under 4 minutes left in qualifying. And I think this is really good track time as well. Almost as if a bonus practice session.
Yeah, it's good to get the practice session. I will say one thing about the next-gen cars. That truck race, I don't know how much what you learn in that truck race will benefit you in these next-gen cars. The way the braking system works, the way these cars generate speed, and how they behave on road courses, and the way they shift, just very different than the truck. I found these drive a little bit more similarly to the to like a GT car rather than a stock car on road courses. Honestly, feel like I'm maybe a little better at driving these. They're heavy and they don't handle great, but kind of the shifting, especially, more similar to a next gen car with that sequential, or to the GT car with that sequential gearbox.
So still just under 3 minutes left in qualifying. It is Jonathan Parker. Casey Wygant actually goes P2. Nick Kapiak third, Hunter Peach fourth, and John Phillips fifth.
And just another note, we will not have, I do not believe we will have cautions tonight. So it'll likely be 34 laps straight sprint race, almost a sprint race. Probably going to be almost under an hour race time, I would think, based on lap times we're seeing. So it's going to be a quick race here tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see who can manage that as this race goes on.
Snyder entering Oval 3. Currently P10 is Cole Snyder. See where this lap will put him.
Kenneth Cheney just bumped up to 5th place with a 147.164. And just note that anybody who starts their lap before time expires here will be able to complete their last lap.
Jonathan Parker across the line. See by chance he improves any.
He does.
Yeah.
A 146.121. Jonathan Parker really showing a lot of pace here in qualifying. If he's able to be consistent with that during the race, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people in this field who can do anything, who will have anything for him. But still a lot of time to go. And then one of the keys to this race is just going to be making it through turn one on that initial start. That it tightens quickly, and you're going to have people with different braking markers, especially on that initial start. Everybody kind of has their own idea of where they should brake for that corner. You're not carrying as much speed, so you want to drive in a little deeper, but you never really know where too deep is. So you can a lot of times have people lock up, people get in together there. So that's going to be key for everybody in this race, is trying to navigate that successfully.
Kenneth Cheney coming off Oval 4. He's going to have enough time to cross the line and do another lap if he chooses. As will everybody on track except Giovanni Klein. As time has expired, Klein's lap here will be his lap. And
well, everybody who started a lap will be allowed to complete it, so
that's what I just said.
Never mind.
It's Pacey Wygent going to be the first one across the line.
I'm good at words.
Out of those that are still on track.
Yeah, Wygent that time does not count, so that will do it for Wygent. Dylan Chappell now coming off a NASCAR 4 to the start-finish line. He runs a 1:50.546. That's not an improvement for him.
John Phillips.
That lap does not count for him.
So that does it. Nobody else on track that complete a lap.
Oh, Giovanni Klein is still.
He crossed the line after time expired.
Yeah, he stopped down the back stretch. So that will do it for qualifying here today. Jonathan Parker, your pole sitter here at the World Center of Racing.
So, real quick, before I say let's give our driver picks, I actually want to do something on my end. Might be too much. Okay, we're good. All right, so Brett, who is your pick to win?
My pick tonight is going to be the 48. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to pick the 48 because I think we've made a gentleman's agreement to not pick him. So I will take the 6 of Nick Hapiak. He's been fast at road courses and been really consistent this season. I think tonight might need a slip up from Jonathan Parker, but I think he's going to be in a good chance to pick up the win here tonight at the Daytona road course.
Well, I am going to go ahead and pick John Phillips. He looks really fast, and I've been impressed with his run recently. He's been pretty quick, hanging tough with these guys. So they have a 10-minute warm up. So we'll go over our starting lineup here soon. I have yet to mention it tonight, really, other than I just kind of said, welcome to the NAOR series where this is the Yak Challenge 121. But, the question is, what is the Yak Challenge? Well, it's going to be Nathan Lehman, Jose Ruiz, and I don't think
it was supposed to be Braden Holt, but Holt, Josh Arnold actually let me know beforehand. Braden Holt not going to make it tonight, so this is going to be the 2 cars of Lehman and Ruiz. Highest finisher of those 2 will win the Yak Racing Challenge here tonight.
And additionally, now things kind of changed. So last week I was really saying, put who you think is going to finish ahead of the other in the chat, and we only had one person actually vote in chat. So voting was still open. They did. They had voting on Twitter. As well. I'm not sure how well that went. I haven't got any word, but somebody, or people that picked Lehman, people that picked Ruiz, you have a chance if you picked either one of them. Basically, kind of makes it a lot easier because now you're only focused on one driver you have to beat instead of 2. So again, they don't have to win the race. Nathan Lehman or Jose Ruiz, they don't have to win the race. They can finish last and second to last. One that finishes second to last will, win the challenge. Of course, they don't want to do that, but that could happen. And so if you picked one of them two, you have a chance to actually win a NAOR t-shirt.
We currently have a.
Go ahead.
We currently have a warm-up session here. They might be advancing it soon. Not sure on what the exact plan is here. A lot of people seem to be using it to mainly just slam into walls.
And Jonathan Parker out here just trying to get some extra practice time. Going through the Western Horseshoe. You know, it is kind of funny, Brett, hopping in here. So I can see on my side telemetry drivers' road iRating and safety rating. And it is kind of funny to see, you know, just the difference between the oval, when we're at an oval and their road and safety ratings there, as opposed to here at a road course.
Yeah, we're an oval. You have guys like I know Jonathan Parker. I don't know where he's up to, but he's at least over 4K, maybe over 5.
Yeah, whereas,
just so for people who aren't aware, iRating is iRacing's rating system. If you finish well in official races on iRacing, so not league races like this, but like ranked races on iRacing where you're seeing people with similar iRating, if you finish good, it goes up. If you finish bad, it goes down. The highest road iRating in this race is Jimmy Minch with a 1591. For comparison, most high-level oval guys like a Jonathan Parker probably around 4.55K in a oval iRating. So, plus there's also a license system, which is how clean you are in races. In oval, almost every driver in this league is an A or B license, a few lower, but mostly, which means A being the highest level. Posted driver. Here you have 3 A licenses, 1 B license, and everybody else a C, D, or rookie in road. So yeah, a lot of people probably don't run road a lot, and I think that's why you see such a time difference between the people at the front of the field and the back of the field in these races. A lot of time.
You know, I have a B license in road. I actually got my B license. You want to know how I did it, Brett? It's kind of funny, actually.
I mean, go ahead.
So, iRacing used to have this thing. It's no longer like this because of people like me. But iRacing used to have this thing.
Oh, did you run an IndyCar when it was at an oval?
Where if you ran road series at ovals, it still counted towards your road license. And so I would just run, you know, exactly what Brett just asked.
Open IndyCar
at ovals, and it would count towards my road. Now, my road iRating, on the other hand, is absolutely awful. Don't check that. I'd probably, if I was in this race right now, I guarantee it'd be the worst road iRating. But
I mean, there's a 600 in here.
Yeah, that's still better than mine.
Okay, yeah, that's really bad. You should do better than that.
I don't run road. I run oval. But
road's fun. Road's fun as long as you don't take it too seriously and you don't get killed by over aggressive people.
That's my problem. I want to get better at road, but I get killed by over aggressive people. Like
that's to be fair. That's also oval races, to be fair. So
true, but I know oval racing a lot better than road racing.
Yeah, same. Hopefully we hurry up here and advance the session. Maybe they're just going to let this 10-minute warm-up play out. I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know why we need a 10-minute warm-up here, but their choice. Only 4 people have even set a lap time, which tells you how seriously most drivers are taking this.
just over 2 minutes left in warm up. So, yeah, I mean, so the guys watching, you heard Brett in my pick to win the race. Who do you guys have? Who's your picks? Just go ahead and remind you guys. With Brett picking Nick Gapiak, myself picking John Phillips.
I will say I do think Jonathan Parker's going to win, though. Me and Josh have made a gentleman's agreement for this series to not pick Pacey Wygen and Jonathan Parker. As honestly, they are so strong. They're both such strong drivers that any race they're going to be a pretty strong threat to win. So kind of Joe's agreement there, but I think we could see a couple people surprising here today. It's going to be. It's going to be interesting. Really, the key at in these longer road races is just to be mistake free or avoid major mistakes. Like,
we have lost to Brett Bennett.
I thought I had finished my statement, so.
Oh, okay. Well, just kind of the way it cut off is interesting, but yeah, so like, I think, Jonathan Parker, Pacey Legend, they are the ones that we constantly watch. They're the favorites. But I do want to add on to that. I've got less than 30 seconds, so let's see if I can do this. One of the smartest things Danica Patrick ever did was actually make this statement, and she said that in racing, nothing is guaranteed. That's why we race. Because if it was, if everything was known, there'd be no point.
Well, to be fair with Danica, one thing was guaranteed, and that was her not winning.
Yeah, well, her wrecking. I mean, she went out the only way she knew how, and that was wrecking the Daytona 500 and wrecking out the Indianapolis 500 in her last two stars.
I mean, in my opinion, the most apt statement made about Danica Patrick's career was Rule 1 of stock car racing is to know how to wreck somebody without wrecking herself, which, as I believe at your home track, Michigan, she once demonstrated by trying to wreck Travis Kepfel, not actually succeeding in that, but then right hooking herself into the outside catch fence head on.
She was one of the best.
Yeah, truly an elite driver.
We're going to go ahead and go through our starting grid here. And starting on the pole is going to be Jonathan Parker, Pacey Wygen on the outside. And P2, Nick Gapiak, your pick to win. Start third. Hunter Peach, fourth. Kenneth Cheney starts fifth. And John Phillips, my pick to win, starts sixth. Starting seventh is going to be Jimmy Mensch. Zachary Meredith starts eighth. Starting ninth, Jose Ruiz. And Cole Snyder will start 10th.
Dylan Chappell, 11th. Nathan Lehman, 12th. John Osborne and Hunter Sr. will make up your 7th row. Josh Arnold and Jonathan Canfield, 15th and 16th. Justin Quimby and Giovanni Klein, 17th and 18th. Mike Campbell and Chase McGuire, 19th and 20th. And then rounding out your field in 21st, the number 2 of Donnie Kite.
And a little bit of differences there between what Brett said and what you saw on screen. What Brett said is actually correct for once. So
yeah, I probably was struggling with the people who didn't set a time there.
The ticker does that all the time.
Yep. Yeah, as Campbell, McGuire, and Kite did not make a set a time in qualifying.
So the difference between Saturday night's race and this race, other than the fact that these are cars, not trucks, is this does have a lap count. We will have 34 laps to make up tonight's distance.
Two other differences, by the way, that I think will play a role. Also, we are in the middle of the day. Track temp's going to be a lot hotter. Track going to be a lot slicker here. In fact, our track temp right now up to 119 degrees. That's going to be a slippy track. For comparison, I believe when we were here in the Amsoil Truck Series, it was 85 degrees. So that's almost a 30-degree swing. It's going to be a lot slicker track. With that said, also adding an extra pace lap here, so we're going to have a full pace lap before we go green. Yeah, car is still sticking their way through the infield section right now.
Yeah, so right now, just following that pace car. We're about ready to get racing. In the Yak Challenge 121 here at the Daytona Road Course.
And 34 laps. Field starting to tighten up as they run through NASCAR 2. Yeah, still a little bit till we get to the green flag. Fortunately, extending this race is caution by lap. Gonna take a little time. Pace laps. One of the reasons we don't have cautions here, as you see, length of time it takes to complete pace laps here.
Everybody back double file, 2 by 2. Jonathan Parker, the man who has been just on a hot streak lately.
And these drivers, especially JP, going to have to be careful in the turn one here. Could get very sketchy on this initial start. Honestly, I do think with how hard it gets to pass at road courses, if you can make that move on that initial start, more spots you can get before the field gets spread out on this initial start is huge. But you got to find that right mix of aggressive but not too aggressive.
Pace car is in. And green flag's out. We are underway. Oh, Jonathan Parker locks it up. He's sideways. He made contact with Casey Wygett. He spun out.
That lets DeCapiak get through to the lead. Remember what I was saying before this race? Parker, we've seen him do that before at Nashville. Oh, I believe that was Josh Arnold. Or actually, no, yeah, that was Josh Arnold. Got locked up on the straightaway. Giovanni Klein's off. Chaos here on the initial start. Yeah, unfortunately, Parker, he just locked it up, got in the Pacey Wygett, and that just opened the door for Nick Hapiak to drive through to the race lead.
Well, I mean, that makes things interesting. He's got up to Donnie Kite. Keeping around Kite. incredible view here. Chicane. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be Nick Kapiak, though, leading the first lap.
Yeah, Nick Kapiak out to a 7/10 of a second lead over the number 45 of Mike Peach. Closest battle, Jimmy Minch has a run on Cole Snyder going down towards turn 1 for the 5th spot. He's going to lift out a little bit early. You know, Kapiak got a little wide in turn 1. Hunter Peach now right on his rear bumper looking for the race lead.
At least she got his name right that time. Hunter Peach is right on the back bumper of Nick Kapiak.
Kapiak, though, got a really good exit there from also, meanwhile, trouble for the 81 of John Osborne. Locked up the rears into turn 1, spun. You know, they kind of just had to wait for everybody to go by. He's dropped back to the 21st position. Kapiak looks a little faster in that infield section there. Meanwhile, 3-car battle, Zachary Meredith and Pacey Wygant. Pacey Wygant now back in 8th, right behind Jimmy Minch. And Wygant going to look to the inside as they exit NASCAR 2. And Wygant going to clear Meredith into the bus stop. Pace move, Pacey Wygant up to the 7th position.
Pretty good pass there. Was able to clear before the bus stop.
Yeah, Wygant's going to have a run on Jimmy Minch now. 2 and 4. Meanwhile, Kenneth Cheney has gotten by the 7 of John Phillips. Phillips had it off track. I wonder if he got a slowdown through the bus stop. It's actually going to let Cole Snyder get a run on him, too.
Cole's going to back out of it.
Oh, big lockup. That was Zachary Meredith. He kept it, almost got into the outside safer barrier. Managed to keep it out of the wall. Going to drop him multiple spots, though.
Pacey Wygant trying to look to the inside of Cole Snyder. He's going to get there. They're going to be side by side.
Yeah, Wygant pretty quickly running through the field. Jonathan Parkwell only worked his way up to 13th so far. Snyder fighting back. He's to stay ahead, but it's Wygant going to cross him over. Snyder got too deep in the turn 6. Wygant up to 5th, and Jimmy Minch going to have a run looking for maybe the 6th spot.
Meanwhile, this is insane how Nick Kapiak and Hunter Peach have gotten to a 5-second lead over Kenneth Cheney.
Yeah, those 2 cars really looked like we had kind of 4 super fast cars early on and kind of maintained that Kapiak and Peach, but then Wygant and Parker having to work their way through traffic, slowing them up. And Cole Snyder has a huge run on Pacey Wygant through NASCAR 4 right now. He's going to have a shot back at him in the turn 1. Meanwhile, Zachary Meredith, more trouble, spun it into the bus stop, didn't hit anything, got going again. Cole Snyder going to look to the inside, driving in deep into turn 1. Snyder able to get it stopped. Good aggressive move under brake and move the 24 back into the top 5.
And Dylan Chappell locks it up, goes way wide. That's going to allow Jonathan Parker to get around him, so put Parker into 11th.
And Cole Snyder got into the International Horseshoe too hot. Pacey Wygant gets back by him to move back up in the 5th. Oh, and Donnie Kite spun off in turn 1, dropped him back to 18th. We also right now have the battle for the Kapiak Racing Challenge. between Nathan Lehman and Jose Ruiz as they go through turn 6. Lehman currently leading Jose Ruiz.
This could be a very fun battle all night long between Lehman and Ruiz.
Peach got into the bus stop really good. Both drivers got an off track there. Not sure if either of them are going to get a slowdown. I only caught the tail end of that. I don't think either will. Looks like both just barely clipped some grass. Jose Ruiz with a run on Nathan Lehman through NASCAR 4. He's going to try to maybe make a move as we get to the front stretch.
Ruiz going to look to the inside. They will be side by side. And Ruiz actually backs out of it. Battle for the race lead, though. Hunter Peach is there. Cappy, got a little bit of a better exit out of the International Horseshoe.
Yeah, so far Peach looks to be a little bit weaker through the infield section. It's on the oval where he really is stronger. Trouble for the 17 is Zachary Meredith. He spun out in turn 1. Just locked up the rear brakes. Josh Arnold went wide. Spun it, waited for everybody to go by. He's got him back going in the 18th position. As Jonathan Parker moves by Jose Ruiz. 4 cars under a blanket for the 8th spot.
Jonathan Parker is absolutely insane. He's looking underneath Lehman.
Once again, Hunter Peach got a great run into the bus stop. And once again, both him and Happy got a 1X in the bus stop. Off track, dropped the tire a little bit. Happy, though, got a good launch out of that corner.
Let's ride on board with Hunter Peach for this next lap.
Yeah, Peach gets into turn 1 really well there, closing up on that rear bumper of the 6. But the 6 been really good out of these corners, kind of backing up his corners, doing a nice job. Peach keeps driving in deep, but it's hurt compromising his exits. You see once again, Happyack. Oh, Peach dives it into the Western Horseshoe. He runs wide, puts 2 of the track. Happyack keeps the race lead.
Yeah, I was a little confused there. It looked like Happyack got kind of loose there in the kink. You just saw Peach dive it. Cost him a ton of time.
Yeah, Peach just drove it harder through the kink and gained a lot, but then gave it all back under braking.
Going to be interesting to see if Hunter Peach can rebound and get back up to Nick Happyack. Nathan Lehman and Jose Ruiz still pretty close to each other.
Yeah, Parker had a clean lap that time, but only was able to run a 1:47.7, actually slower than both Happyack and Peach.
No, that actually was faster than Happyack and Peach's. Lehman actually goes way wide at turn 1. That's going to allow Jose Ruiz and Chase McGuire to Well, at least Chase to try to get to the outside.
Yeah, I mislooked at that line. Yeah, Chase McGuire looking at Nathan Lehman.
And we have a battle for third place. Kenneth Cheney. He's all over John Phillips.
Yeah, Cheney didn't show a lot of speed early, but really started to pick it up. He's got a big run down the back straightaway. A little ball from Cheney on exit. That's going to let Phillips get a good run off the corner.
He's hanging right there with him. Is Cheney with Phillips.
And more importantly, Hunter Peach just had a really good turn one. He's caught back up to the 6 of Nick Hapiak battle for the race lead.
Tire lockup. That right front was skidding across the pavement on the 45.
Yeah, and you see that Hapiak takes advantage. He's going to pull out a little bit more of an advantage. Jonathan Parker probably fastest car last time by, but only a tenth faster than Peach and only 4 tenths faster than Hapiak. Still 14 seconds off the race lead.
Back to the battle for third. We continue watching. There's lots of good battling everywhere. You know, not too far behind. Jonathan Parker, he's gotten by Cole Snyder. He's now in 6th place. Gained a couple positions already this lap.
Peach gained a good bit through the bus stop there. He might have a chance here into turn one as Cheney has the draft of Phillips. Cheney got the better launch out of the bus stop. Cheney going to have a real good chance in the turn one as well for that third spot. A little bit of a walk up from Peach in the turn one. Not quite able to get there.
Cheney, good entry there. Into 1.
And where Hapiak really is got an advantage over Peach, and I've been noticing this all race long, is that exit of the International Horseshoe. He just gets a better launch out of that corner almost every time, and that's really where he puts the advantage on Peach. Peach is a little bit better in a lot of the braking zones than the 6. Last time by, in fact, Peach was the fastest car on the track. Peach almost got 2 Hapiak's bumper into turn 6. It appeared to hurt his exit off the corner, though. And Cheney side by side with John Phillips, holding back on the oval through turn 6. And Kenneth Cheney going to clear John Phillips, move Kenneth Cheney up to the 3rd position. Phillips, though, might have a chance to get back at him with the draft, heading towards the bus stop.
Phillips. He's got to run, but not going to do anything with it. Jonathan Parker has caught Pacey Wygant. This is for 5th. Pacey a little wide there. Oh, Cole Snyder locked up in the background. Jonathan Parker going to get by Pacey Wygen. Pacey just let him take it.
Yeah, Parker been one of the fastest cars. Something happened to Hunter Peach, by the way.
Hey, right, he's fallen off quite a bit.
Oh, he missed the last part of the bus stop. Got probably a slowdown. That's what cost him that time.
So we'll see if Hunter Peach can, once again, try to catch up to Nick Kapiak. Oh, Jonathan Parker got the grass in the chicane. Yeah, I think Parker has a slowdown because Pacey Wygen just got past Jonathan Parker. Chase McGuire has got up to that 14 of Nathan Lehman. Lehman locks up just a little bit. And Hunter Peach caught up to Nick Kapiak. I gotta imagine Kapiak had a miscue or something. There is no way Peach caught up that quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a look real quick. Honestly, Peach just had a better infield section, and Peach, I think, has been the faster car. He just has not been able to find a spot to get by that 6. He gets a great run through the bus stop. Peach gonna have a run.
Peach taking it to the outside.
And he's not gonna be able to get there. Probably should have stayed in line there for a little bit.
Nick Kapiak, I think, locked up the tires a bit there, getting into one. Still battling so hard for this race lead. 12 laps into this race. Nick Kapiak has led them all. But it's not been easy.
Yeah, Peach right there.
No, Peach looking to the inside. Peach's got it.
He does, but that outside gets a great run out of turn 6. Kapiak probably going to get cleared, but yeah, he's not quite there, and Kapiak's got the better run out of the corner. Kapiak going to have the launch down the back straightaway. Peach going to try to stay side by side as they head to the bus stop, and Peach going to lift out and just slot in back behind Kapiak.
It's unfortunate as a driver to have to do that, but smart move out of Peach. Still a lot of racing left. And they are catching Mike Campbell. Going to put Mike Campbell a lap down. As Campbell staying to the outside. Capiak clears. Peach needs to get clear quick. And he does.
And Jonathan Parker has been gaining on these two leaders. These two leaders seem like they may have burnt off their stuff a little bit. And we were saying you don't want to take tires. 4 seconds of lap time fall off for these cars. I think they're going to want to take tires at the pit stop. And I say that, though, Jonathan Parker just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 1:47.495, as he is going to pass John W. Phillips and move him up to the 4th position.
Hunter Beach, still right there.
Yeah, he's hounding in he's going to drive it in deep into the Western Horseshoe. Happy going to try to cross him over. Peach does a good job keeping it to the inside. New race leader, the 45 of Hunter Peach. And that move looked like it was coming for a little bit.
So now we'll see. I mean, it's going to happen. Jonathan Parker, P4 now. Just under 11 seconds back. Still a long race to go. Hunter Peach is pulling away from Nick Capiak. And there's actually trouble in the bus stop. Mike Campbell around. He's in the grass, out of the way.
Oh, and he hit those tires pretty hard at the front end of that number 71. Not a great race here today for Campbell.
Trying to stay out of the way.
And not a great place to rejoin there. And Parker got by Phillips. Really has not pulled away from Phillips and really not been gaining on Cheney. I don't know, maybe he had a mistake on that last lap or what. I still had a pretty fast lap, but closest battle on the track, though. Chase McGuire all over Nathan Lehman, looking for that 10th spot.
They're side by side in the International Horseshoe.
Yeah, Lehman ran wide in turn 1. And Lehman pulled back away from McGuire. Jimmy Minch has caught back up to the 00 Pacey Wygent. And Jonathan Parker closing in on the 76 of Kenneth Cheney, looking to move up into the podium positions.
Zachary Meredith around the International Horseshoe. He gets it going.
Yeah, Jonathan Parker gets a good launch out of the bus stop. He's going to have a chance at Kenneth Cheney, looking to move up to the 3rd spot. Hunter Peach, by the way, since getting by Hapiak, has started to pull away from Hapiak out in front of this field, trying to build that gap, especially at Jonathan Parker, who I think is the fastest car here, but trying to come all the way from the back to the front.
I think it's going to come down to who has a better pit stop at this rate. What do you do? Jonathan Parker.
Do you take tires or do you go fuel only? That's the other question, and I am not sure based on the lap times I've been seeing tonight. Oh, Phillips there too. Oh, almost contact. 3 cars under a blanket for the 3rd spot. Phillips going to be side by side with Parker for 4th.
I don't want to be on the outside going into the kink. He's not going to be.
Yeah, you want to be single file through the kink. Oh, Parker kind of had to check up a little more to avoid hitting into him. Phillips going to try the dime in the corner. Kind of got in a little too hot.
Cheney is wide here. Parker on the brakes. Got a little squirrely, but he's going to get past Cheney. And now Jonathan Parker is in 3rd.
Yeah, and that cost him, though, about 2 seconds to our race leader. I actually gained on Happyak. I'm not sure if Happyak made a mistake or if Happyak just tires probably falling off on that 6 car.
Jimmy Mensch still battling with Pacey Wygett for 6th place.
Yeah, Minch backed up the entry to the bus stop there, gets a good launch off the corner. He's going to have a run at the 00. And here goes Minch, moved Jimmy Minch up to the 6th position.
Kenneth Cheney wants to get back past John Phillips.
Well, Phillips wants to get past Parker.
Yeah, Phillips is still right there. Nathan Lehman and Chase McGuire still going at it.
Oh, big lock up there for Kenneth Cheney. Phillips is there.
Phillips right now in Jonathan Parker's draft. It's going to help him a lot. And Phillips actually looking to the inside of Jonathan Parker. They're going to be side by side entering the bus stop. Oh, a little bit of contact. Jonathan Parker actually going to go through the grass. He's going to get a slowdown. John Phillips will get past Jonathan Parker.
And that was on Jonathan Parker. Phillips was down on the apex. Parker just tried to pinch him, and there was not space. Parker probably should have given that up.
Speaking of giving it up, is he going to have to lose a position here to Cheney? Phillips actually coming into pit road right now. So we get to see our first pitter. See what he's going to do. Tires, no tires. In his box. Right side's up. Dylan Chappell also coming down pit road, as it's a 4-tire stop for Phillips.
And by the way, Happyak's really been struggling. He's now 11 seconds behind Peach and Kit. So we have a new race leader. Nathan Lehman has taken the race lead. He will not remain our race leader as he missed turn 1 so badly that he ended up on the NASCAR oval at turns 1 and 2, passing everybody, because that is a great shortcut, but that will be a black flag for the 14 truck.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, how is he about to get lapped by Hunter Peach?
No, he's the race leader, actually.
But yeah, you're right. You were very right.
Really an impressive move. He went from 11th to 1st in one corner. If you ignore the rules, it was a great move.
And Hunter Peach going to be entering pit road is the true race leader here.
Yeah, Nathan Lehman in as well. Yeah, 1:14.669 was the lap time for Lehman.
Nick Kapiak, Kenneth Cheney, and Jonathan Parker all down pit road. It looks like Jimmy Mensch going to come down.
Yeah, 4 tires. Going to be 4 tires on the 45.
Jonathan Parker is now in his box. Peach pulling away. I don't see any movement. Oh, no tires. Jonathan Parker, it didn't look like. I did not see any movement at all. Still a 10.4 second pit stop. I don't know. I'm in favor of no tires here, but honestly, we're going to find out if tires is beneficiary, and if Parker was hoping for a quicker pit stop, he could have taken rights there. I'm still in favor of no tires, but we'll see.
Yeah, Pete's looking in really good shape right now. John Phillips up the second. Jonathan Parker, by the way, did not take tires, fuel only for the 48. Currently sitting 10 seconds back of our race leader.
So we're going to see how this starts to play out. We are about halfway through this race. $17 down, 17 to go. So they are on lap 18 and about to have 18 laps complete. Hunter Peach, still your race leader. Jonathan Parker.
And John W. Phillips on those fresh tires just ran the fastest lap of the race in P2, 1:47.392 for the 7 of John Phillips.
Jonathan Parker actually had an issue getting into one there.
Yeah, and he's on those old tires, and that's going to be an interesting thing to watch is how his lap times look here as just down his first lap out of the pits. That was just another good decision there was John Phillips pitting a lap earlier, getting himself out of that battle with Parker and the 76 of Kenneth Cheney. Cheney an extended stop. I'm not sure what happened. He's back on pit road. Maybe a speeding penalty for the 76 of Kenneth Cheney. He was having a great run here today.
Speeding penalty. It would have been a drive-through.
Speeding penalty is not a drive-through. It's a hold. Yeah, it was a speeding penalty. He accelerated at the NASCAR speed line.
Oh, Josh Arnold way wide into one. Jose Ruiz going to go by.
Yeah, Ken Cheney's exit pit road now in the 13th position.
By the way, if you were Team Ruiz, you're currently in a good position as Ruiz is ahead of Nathan Lehman by a lap. Giovanni Klein is wide in front of Phillips and Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker spins.
Yeah, not the night Jonathan Parker was looking for here tonight. That looked eerily similar to what happened to him on the initial start of the race. Just got in too hot, locked the rear brakes, and around the 48 car went. Almost had kind of Papiak who gets through to move up in the third spot. Unfortunately, some uncharacteristic mistakes from Jonathan Parker tonight. Likely going to cost him a shot at the race win. More boy, though, John W. Phillips is gaining on Hunter Peach. He's been about a second a lap quicker, and that 7 FedEx machine has really been coming on in the second half, in the late part of that first run, and now came in a lap earlier, might be a little tight on fuel, but
Yeah, has been showing impressive speed. Yeah, I really don't know much about John Phillips. He is pretty new to this series, but I I chose him as my pick to win for a reason tonight. It's because I actually thought he really could get it done. He's been so impressive in the few races that this season has had, running up front every race. I think I think he's going to get a win or two this season, and it very well could come tonight. He's got 14 laps to try to close in a 6-second gap. And Hunter Peach, I mean, we've seen he's made some mistakes tonight.
Yeah, but he's been pretty mistake-free. Like, the mistakes he's made have been really minor, and they were kind of hard racing for the lead. But if I'm Phillips, I just want to keep putting the pressure on running fast lap times. Hapiak was actually faster even than Phillips, but Hapiak still 10 seconds back of the race lead.
It's going to be pretty interesting to see what will happen between these guys. Jonathan Parker, 15.3 seconds behind your race leader.
Yeah, main battle on the track right now. Kenneth Chaney all over the back bumper of Jose Ruiz for that 12th spot.
Well, Jonathan Canfield was off track just ahead of him.
I just want to give a shout out to Hunter Sr.
Canfield locks up as well as Donnie Kite. Janey and Ruiz. Goodbye.
I want to give a shout out to Hunter Sr. Tonight, haven't talked about him at all. Really was pretty slow in practice, but he's just kept it on the island all night tonight. Kept it on track, not made mistakes, and he's up to the 10th position because of that. So just a solid run tonight for the 20.
He's doing a pretty good job, sitting 10th. Actually, looks like he might be closing in on Dylan Chappell. Zachary Meredith and Josh Arnold have been battling. Meredith actually was trying to get past Josh Arnold and has been able to do so. It's Meredith now in 14th position. And these two, not battling, but it's Nathan Lehman. He is a lap down. Chase McGuire, though, would like to get around him.
Yeah, and John Phillips now only 3 seconds back. He was almost 2 seconds faster last lap. Jonathan Parker actually the fastest car on track, but
here is Hunter Peach. He has Justin Quimby not too far ahead of him. See if he can get the draft of Quimby. Maybe try to pull the gap a little bit on Phillips. Hunter Peach still behind Justin Quimby. Quimby's going to go wide. Hunter Peach down to the inside and going to get around Quimby.
and John Phillips now 2 seconds back. That 7's been the fastest car on track recently. Well, one of Hapiak and Parker actually a little bit quicker, but Hapiak now only 6 seconds back, so it's going to be we might see 3-4 cars still in with a good shot at this race. Still 12 laps to go.
like so much racing still left in this race. Despite the fact that it is only 12 laps, this track is so big. It's a long way.
Yeah, and Peach gained a little bit there that lap. Now 3-second advantage over the 7. He was a half-second faster. Hapak only ran even that lap. Jonathan Parker, about a half-second faster than Peach. He's still, though, 12 seconds back of the race lead.
Yeah, Parker has to gain a little bit more than a second a lap. A little bit of a mistake there for Hunter Peach coming out of the International Horseshoe.
And that's where Peach is going to be most vulnerable today.
That's where I've seen most of his issues at, is getting out of that International Horseshoe. Really not too many close battles going on right now. Jose Ruiz, though, is hanging close with Kenneth Cheney.
Yeah, John Phillips, Peach, and we saw first run, Peach on the long run really stays consistent, and I think that's the key here for that 45. As 10 to go at the line for the 45, 100 Peach. And Phillips gained 2/10 that lap, but 2/10 a lap not going to be enough if he wants to catch that 45, 100 Peach.
There are 10 laps to go. The gap is 1.6 seconds between Hunter Peach and John Phillips. Nick Kapiak is reeling them in.
Yeah, Peach did not have a good infield section there. Phillips gained about a second and a half through the infield. Now only 1.5 seconds back, and if he's getting like that, he will have a chance at this race.
And I think Peach had a slowdown. Phillips is there. Phillips looking to the outside of Hunter Peach.
Yeah, battle for the race lead on in the turn 1. Who's going to arrive in deeper on the brakes? And Phillips actually lifts out. Going to be patient here. Try to make that 45, make a mistake. And don't look now, but Nick Hapiak only 3 seconds back of the race lead.
If these guys get battling, you know, now Jonathan Parker actually closing in a ton. He could be brought into this battle as well. Oh, yeah, Peach is going to lock up. He gets into the grass. Still out there. And Phillips gets by. New race leader, John Phillips.
Yeah, big mistake there from Hunter Peach. I was about to say, Nick Hapiak was just ran the fastest lap of the race last time by, a 1:47.274. And we're seeing right now Phillips, Hapek, and Parker didn't take tires. So really, maybe that was the right call.
I told you I was team no tire. I've driven these cars a ton at road courses. It's Phillips pulling away. Let's see if Hunter Peach can do anything to try to rebound. Right now, the speed is in Phillips' favor. Hunter Peach driving it in deep. Hunter Peach there. He's to the inside.
Yeah, great job through corner one for Peach. Phillips has been really conservative in the turn one all night long, so that's not surprising. Peach there, but Peach has really struggled in the International Horseshoe. He's going to drive it in deep, and he made it stick that time. Peach looking to retake the race lead, and Hapyak now only 2 seconds back. Jonathan Parker's within 5 seconds. 4 cars still in it with a chance to win this race, as we have 8 laps to go here at Daytona.
Hunter Peach still all over the back bumper of John Phillips. You said road course racing was boring. Hunter Peach trying hard. He's all over the draft of Phillips, wanting to close back in. Actually, Peach looking a little bit higher. Into the chicane. This is still just insane. Blows my mind. These guys can run this long without a caution. Of course, no cautions in road courses, but you know, just run this long with no caution. Still be this close for the race lead as Hunter Peach once again right there with Phillips.
So Jonathan Parker is now only 3 seconds back, and he has caught Nick Hapyak. All these cars struggling. Oh, big lockup for Peach. And Hapyak locks up as well. Jonathan Parker going to have a good run towards the kink. Looking to find Nick Hapyak and move up to the 3rd spot.
Pressure is on. These guys know it. All 4 of them. As Parker's going to get past Hapyak. Let's put Jonathan Parker in the 3rd position. And who saw this after the lap 1, turn 1 mishap, and then the spin shortly after his pit stop about 10 laps ago? Phillips still your race leader. Jonathan Parker under 3 seconds. Peach trying to get the draft. Phillips trying to break it. Under 0.4 of a second, 6 laps to go. It's still uncertain who is going to win this race. Sutter Peach right now in the best section compared to Phillips. Peach much
right
better.
there. And Jonathan Parker is right there.
And they are catching lap car Giovanni Klein as well. Sutter Peach almost to the bumper of Phillips. Phillips actually not able to get the run off the corner like he wants because of Giovanni Klein. Giovanni Klein actually goes to the inside. Now Klein to the outside. Klein to the inside.
This is shit from... sorry. This is bad from Klein. Like, you're a lap car. You're already a lap down. Don't block the race leader.
What was going on there?
I don't know what he was doing there, but that's not acceptable behavior. Peach dropped the wheel there. He might have a slowdown. Jonathan Parker got right there. That brings all three together. Battle for the race lead is on. Parker and Peach side by side for second.
They're still side by side, nose to nose. Who's it going to be? Going into 1. 5 to go. Another Peach prevails. Peach actually
Peach
to the
lead.
Yeah. 3-car battle for the race lead.
Oh, we got a car sideways on the track. Josh Arnold in front of them.
Peach runs wide. John Parker's going to get past Peach.
And they're coming up on a really slow car. Josh Arnold going to go in the grass to get out of the way. Parker sending it in hard. Not quite able to get there. He's got a good run, though, as they head down towards turn 6. 4.5 laps to go here at Daytona.
This is insanity. It's Phillips. 0.2 of a second gap on Jonathan Parker, but Parker has the draft. Parker driving it in a little bit deeper. Peach even deeper.
That's going to be a slowdown for Peach. That's going to be a slowdown. It's going to be 4 to go at the line this time by.
And they are side by side for the race lead. Phillips backs out of it. Parker!
Oh, Parker bobbled! Kept it together.
Great job out of Jonathan Parker.
Yeah, they drove it in about as hard as he could into that corner and moved the 48 of Jonathan Parker to the race lead.
I just... How?
Week after week, man.
I have no words for how Jonathan Parker does this.
It's not over yet, though.
No, it's not. Phillips is still there, and we know Phillips has been really fast.
Phillips' strength is corner exit. He's not great in corner entry.
And he's also going to have Jonathan Parker's draft.
Although Parker got a really good launch on the oval, kind of pulling out ahead of Phillips.
Phillips is closing in, but is it going to be enough?
We do have more lap traffic. Already 2 laps down, running in 19th. not far ahead of Jonathan Parker on track. Phillips got a better launch out of the bus stop. He is gaining on Parker, but Parker's been better into turn one. Phillips been really conservative in the turn one all night.
3 laps to go. The Act Challenge 121.
Yeah, Parker had a good entry. Parker getting a little bit in turn one. That's been really Parker's strongest corner other than the 2 spins. But that aggressiveness in turn one's really benefited him as a whole. Phillips a little better through the horseshoe.
Phillips actually doing a great job here.
Yeah, I really like that line he ran there through that Western Horseshoe. Gained almost 0.2 of a second. Maybe a little too hot, though, into turn 6. That's going to let Parker get the better run off. I said that, but actually Phillips got the better run off. Phillips really good through 5 and through the Western Horseshoe and turn 6 back on the oval. He's got the draft. He is gaining on that 48 of Jonathan Parker towards the bus stop.
Got the draft too. Just gonna help.
Yeah, Phillips kind of bobbled a little bit on exit though. Parker got a little bit better launch out of the bus stop.
Yeah, it was a big struggle there for Phillips.
Although now starting to reel him back in with the draft. The 1 of Jonathan Canfield, last car on the lead lap, not far in front now. 2 to go at the line. And Phillips drives it in deep in the turn 1, made it stick. That was the best I've seen Phillips run turn 1 in a long time. Gained a lot of ground on Parker.
Parker taking a conservative entry to the international.
Yeah,
horseshoe.
Parker's playing defense right now.
This is helping Phillips.
Yeah, and you got to look out. Canfield just ahead. Again, a pretty conservative entry. Canfield runs wide. We got one more car in front of the leaders. That is the 17 of Zachary Meredith running in 12th. They still might catch him.
Phillips
Parker Parker was really conservative. Phillips, oh, that might be a slowdown. That might, oh, Parker might have slowed down on the exit. That was not a good bus stop from Phillips, and that might end his chances here tonight.
So we are coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go in the Yak Challenge 121. Jonathan Parker, he is really pushing the limits into 1. Parker just needs a clean lap.
Yeah, Jonathan Parker. Phillips may have just used the last of his tires there trying to get back to Parker. Assuming he can get by the 17 of Zachary Meredith without incident. I think Jonathan Parker in really good shape. We got a battle brewing for the 3rd spot right now. Hunter Peach and Nick Hapiak trading that spot back and forth.
They are
In fact,
side by side. once again, side by side. Tapiak backs out of it.
Phillips might be running out of gas, by the way. He just lost a huge amount of time out of turn.
Oh yeah, he's out. Di9 gonna push him. But checkered flag is in the air. It is the alien. Jonathan Parker is gonna win once again. And what is that, 3 in a row?
Yep, and we gotta have a battle here between Peach and Phillips, I believe, gonna make it for second. And it'll be Hunter Peach holding off Happyack for third.
Jimmy Mensch gonna get fifth. Casey Wygent presumably will finish sixth unless he blows up somehow, some way. He will come across the line in sixth place. Gonna go all the way back to the bus stop for seventh. Cole Snyder. Not too far behind him is Chase McGuire and Hunter Sr. Cole Snyder will finish seventh. Chase McGuire, Hunter Sr., 8th and 9th. Battle right here. No contact between Chapel and Ruiz. I think Chapel might be out of gas. Ruiz gonna get 10th. Chapel 11th. Josh Arnold, I think he's out. He's slow. So back here, Zachary Meredith. Meredith's slowing down. Meredith's going to pass Josh Arnold. And now Josh Arnold is quick. What in the world? Well, alrighty then. So your race winner, Jonathan Parker, getting a push from Jimmy Mensch. And Jonathan Parker probably going to stop at the line. Yes, he does. Well, that was kind of a wild finish.
Yeah, actually, timed it well right as the truck race was finishing too. Just had a car end up upside down there. Or truck. But, yeah, quite the performance from Jonathan Parker here tonight. Just really impressive coming back from multiple mistakes.
Well, let's take a look at our finishing results. Jonathan Parker, winner. John Phillips, second. Hunter Peach, third. Nick Kapiak, fourth. Jimmy Mensch, fifth. Casey Wygent finishes sixth. Cole Snyder, seventh. Chase McGuire, eighth. Hunter Sr., ninth. Jose Ruiz finishes in 10th.
Dylan Chappell, 11th. Zachary Meredith, 12th. Jonathan Cable, 13th. Josh Arnold, 14th. Justin Quinby, 15th. Giovanni Klein, 16th. Donnie Kite, 17th. Kenneth Cheney, 18th. Nathan Lehman, 19th. Mike Campbell 20th, and John Osborne rounds out the field in 21st.
Let's go ahead and talk to our top three. Hunter Peach, our third place finisher. Hunter, you had a really fast race car out there. You were hanging with Nick Kapiak for a long time, was able to get past him, and then started running away with the lead. So just kind of walk us through how your race went.
Just shocked that I didn't somehow close out the deal. Either that was a good race, coming to a Daytona road course. Not the best road racer, but certainly ran pretty well, which is all I could really ask for. Kept up with them. Was shocked to see Parker and Pacey go out in turn one. I was like, okay, people I was looking to race against, and they go wide in turn one. I was like, well, this changes everything. And Nick was strong off the start. I kept up with him, and then toward the end, he kind of started to struggle a little bit. Finally got around him, and then gaps. And then when it got to the pit stops, I know y'all are probably wondering how I ended up losing the lead, obviously. But no, like when I came down pit road, it was split in half 17-17 on field. But I was looking at my black box and iRacing, when I kept going to the line, I was going to be a lap short in how I was running. And I was like, I'm trying to save fuel. I was like, how are they running faster and saving fuel? And then I'm like, well, but I don't really know what else I could have really done there.
Now the decision to take tires or not to take tires, I know one of the biggest things is I'm always team no tires with these next gens or Gen 7 cars. What was, your thoughts really?
I think tires were the move. The only reason why the car was skeptical with the brakes, with the track temp off the start of the run for about 2 laps. That's where I felt a little unsafe due to practice. Now, once I got 4 laps into a run, I felt comfortable, and I noticed a little bit kind of like brake dust similar to that. And it's like the more the tires got older, the more I kind of just kept locking up, and I couldn't drive and brake the same spots. So I was like, with the 14-second lead, I'm going to put tires on it. I'm filling it up all the way. And I was like, just survive the first 2 laps and then go. And that's when I realized my fuel was kind of short. And of course, at the very end of the race, I was 1.5 laps to go. And I was like, well, it would have been nice to know that earlier.
Well, third place finish, sponsor shout outs. Who gets it done for you?
Obviously, got a shout out to 13 Swimwear. JCTV Fastlane brought a fast Toyota Camry. Obviously, did not get the job done once again, but we're slowly getting there. We get to go to my home track at Coda. Well, semi. It's a part. Texas is closer. But, and yeah, shout out to, Zach and Cole and all them with their Pizza and Wings broadcasts. Being on the car for the first time. Try to get them in victory lane. And, Toyota, obviously, best manufacturer in NASCAR. I'm going to stick with it. And to you guys for putting on the booth.
All right, well, I know it's not the finish you wanted, but still a podium, and congrats on that. We'll see you.
Hey, there's always ups. We're going to get there eventually.
Absolutely.
Hey, I couldn't ask more for a Daytona. Last 3 Daytona races I did in the oval and then the road course last Saturday night, and this one, we came out with top 4 finishes in all 3 of them. So couldn't ask for more to go into Daytona and actually survive.
For sure. Well, congrats on the podium, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
Hunter Peach, third place finisher, and Brett, I believe you have our second place finisher, John Phillips.
Yep. I am here on pit road with our second place finisher, John Phillips. John, showed you had a lot of pace here today. Really great battling for the lead there with you, Hunter and Jonathan Parker. Obviously, came a little short on fuel, it appeared. Other than the fuel, what more would you possibly need to get it done here today?
Just the fuel. I had full confidence, at least finishing top two. But I think I was low on fuel because I was in first and second gear on the pace lap. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, gotcha. You were battling hard with Parker. I noticed you really seem strong on exit of corners, really backing up your entries. How are you able to make that work for you all race long? Put yourself in a position to have a chance there at the end of the race.
Well, in practice, I was sliding my rears a lot, obviously. So I didn't really practice of, backing the corner up and coming out smoother. It just happened naturally, I guess, because the first run before we pitted, I just lost all grip in my front tires. Like I couldn't turn. I was losing close to half a second in most corners. And then I figured out I needed to turn my wheel more because I'm still kind of a noob. And yeah, just slow in, slow out, stuff like that. Try to save tires and ended up battling the 48, Wish I could have got him though, but the fuel, oh, the fuel. It hurts when it's the fuel.
Yeah, and came up short on that, but still a great finish in second. How are you going to look to continue that momentum in the next week as we head to Coda, another road course next week? You try to take lessons you learned here to pull into that race?
Yeah, most definitely. I've been pretty solid the whole season. It's been my first season back in NASCAR for like a couple of years. I haven't really raced, but I've had some solid finishes and just came up a little short on the runs, either driving too hard or not hard enough, or fuel mileage and stuff like that. It's still all kind of not new, but got to get used to it again. But yeah, I definitely have top 5 pace. It just comes down to strategy and stuff like that. All the little tidbits that come with NASCAR. So I'm looking forward to it though.
I look forward to seeing you there. Last but not least, who gets it done for you on that 7?
Who gets it done for me?
Yeah, anybody like to thank? Any sponsors, shout outs, anything like that?
Not really. FedEx was a sponsor of this race. I work for FedEx, so might as well be my sponsor. And hopefully I can get some notice, from some sponsors or something like that. That'd be nice. But yeah.
Yeah, well, once again, congrats on the second place finish. It's good seeing you battling up front. Look forward to hopefully talking to you in the future. Have a great night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is your second place finisher, John Phillips. And Josh, I believe you've made your way down the victory lane to catch up with, once again, our race winner, the number 48 of Jonathan Parker.
And, he's already in here. Yeah. First of all, congrats once again, Alien. I mean, Jonathan, on the race win.
I wasn't no alien today. You kidding me?
Well, I mean, first of all,
yeah, he's not wrong.
First of all, before you ask any questions, I owe such a huge apology to Pacey Wygent. We were going to be battling for that win. He was going to be up there too. That was going to be a good 6-car battle for the win, and I basically took him out there unintentionally, obviously, but I feel terrible for him. I just wanted to say that before we get to the interview.
So, first of all, I still live by the fact that you are an alien, and it's because, I mean, it's not often, like ever, 1 in a billion chance that the pole sitter spins out on lap 1, drives through the field, spins out after his pit stop, and continues to drive through the field and wins the race.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the most scuffed race I've ever raced. Not on iRacing, but just in my life. That was horrible. I raced like a F-tier driver today. That was... I don't care. You tell me driving through the field, whatever. I managed that race terribly from start to finish. I don't know how. I know the fuel mileage is so tight for most of them boys, but I thought with my damage, I was going to be screwed in that regard. I thought I was never going to be able to do this on one stop, but I was always right on top of my number. I didn't really ever have to think about it that much. I clutched it into the chicane a couple times, and I made it. So that was the only thing I had going for me. I know everyone else was losing their marbles, but yeah, I just guess part of the way is how I drive road courses. It kind of leads to saving gas a little bit more, but yeah, that was an adventure for sure.
Yeah, I just honestly, I really don't even know what to ask you. I mean, like, you pretty much mentioned all of it. You know, it's just that's it. It's incredible. Your run tonight. I mean, I know you say
I'm embarrassed by it.
yeah, but you still won. I mean, I don't know. Jonathan Parker once again proving why he is
Not an alien. Stop that.
I wasn't
Now
gonna
you
say
are.
an alien.
I don't know. Does Brad have any questions? Is yours
Well,
lost
no,
words?
let
Does he
me
have
tell
lost
you-
words?
I can ask them if you want, but you know they'll probably go off the rails. I don't think Josh wants that.
That's okay.
No. We don't need that. We don't need that.
Also
so-
wanted to say, burn this racetrack. I hate it. This is the worst road course in America. If it's in the middle of Kansas, nobody would like it. I hate this place. I hope I never have to come back here. I'm excited for Coda because that's
Nope, Jonathan Parker's
that's
the worst
better
driver ever.
okay. So I'm done on my tangent.
That's just
my
the
two
worst
tangents.
opinion I've ever heard. So
I hate this place.
You know, if we
Sorry.
burn it to the ground, that would involve taking out the oval too.
Okay, yeah, you're true. That's right. You're
no, Jonathan Parker doesn't like the oval because plate racing he can't win on skill. He
Yeah,
doesn't have
this
the brain to win at plate
This
racing.
is the only
yeah,
way.
that
Jonathan
is
Parker,
true. I'm stupid.
This is the only way Jonathan Parker can win at Daytona.
I can't win at Daytona Oval because I'm an ape creature. Ooh, I'm terrible. I'm stupid.
All right, let's get back to the. what's going on? Are we still live? No. Sponsors, shout outs. Who gets it done behind that Lowe's number 48 Mellow Yellow Chevrolet with Earl and Chad?
Yeah, those two are the reason I won because I was hot after lap 1 and I was hot after my pit stop when I spun it like a moron. I am so those two deserve everything. Chad and Earl, and well, Earl's back in the Daytona 500 by the way. That's awesome. Spotting for Jimmy. I love that. But yeah, shout out to Jimmy. He somehow made the race. I thought it was over for him. And I'd like to thank Lowe's Cobalt Tools and the best soda ever. Don't
Pepsi.
you get it twisted, Joshua. It is not Pepsi. It's Mellow Yellow. I love that.
Mellow Yellow is pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad. I
awful.
appreciate that.
Mountain Dew's better though.
Y'all up here, I'm sure I made things exciting unintentionally. I'm sure I did. So you guys do a great job as always. So I'll give a shout out to y'all and shout out to Happy-Ack and Arnold for letting me race this and let me show that I'm a complete idiot, regardless of how fast I can be. Sometimes I'm a moron. So I appreciate them and appreciate everyone out there for watching. We'll see you next week.
All right, Jonathan Parker, congrats on the race win.
Thank you.
Your race winner, Jonathan Parker. Brett, how in the world did he do that?
I think you said it best. He's an alien, even if he disagrees with that statement. It also helped that it really seemed like other people got battling and let him crawling his way back into that race. Peach made a couple mistakes. Obviously, the fuel issue for Phillips played a big role in that. But just generally, another great performance from Parker. He may be critical of himself, but that was impressive. Yeah, Jonathan Parker once again gets it done. So, gonna look to keep carrying that momentum. Great season so far here in the NAOR Series for Parker.
Well, coming up on JCTV, I am not prepared really much at all to tell you, but
Tomorrow night we are at Auto Club Speedway.
see, that one I could have told you.
And for the AMSOIL Truck Series, then Monday night, we head back to Daytona So we go West Coast back to Daytona. TNR Truck Series has a doubleheader from Daytona. 2 races. I believe one is day, one is night, if I'm remembering correct. I might be wrong on that
correct,
part
yes.
of it. That is correct. That will be a lot of fun. Then Tuesday night, the SAC Coast to Coast Cup Series heads to, the slide. I placed the wrong one. The Slide Job Racing League on Tuesday night heads to the Monster Mile, heads to Vegas. Got ahead of myself. Dover's the week after. Goes to Vegas. Driver's gonna try to gamble for the win there in that race. Then on Thursday night, the SAC Coast to Coast Cup Series gets their season underway with the Daytona 250 back here at Daytona. So a lot of Daytona in this upcoming week. Same in real life. I know anybody interested, ARCA race starting in about 20 minutes or so probably on Fox Sports 2. So tune into that. And then next week in the NAOR series, we go to Texas, COTA, track we've not seen a lot on JCTV. I know it's not the first time we've been there. So it's going to be a lot of fun this upcoming week here on JCTV.
And speaking of the schedule, here is our schedule for the Di9 Designs NAOR series. Let's see, we're already at about halfway through on the left-hand side. North Wilkesboro did get moved, by the way. That is now in between Kansas and Milwaukee. That being on March 15th. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, COTA, another really cool road course. I'm looking forward to that one as well. But that's going to do it from us here tonight at the Daytona Road Course. Still plenty of action coming up on JCTV. And we appreciate your support. And big shout out to everybody who makes this happen. And on behalf of Brett Bennett and the entire outstanding crew at JCTV, I'm Joshua Coppernell signing off. Saying so long, and we'll see you next time.